Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Block. So today we have something a little bit different. You might see rather, that I have an apple on my desk. Well, there's a reason for that. Today we're going to be talking about contour lines and a couple other things along with that. So I tried to record this video a while back and I lost all the audio. So this time I'm just going to dedicate it to my recording software, so hopefully it'll catch everything. So let's start with the basics. When we talk about contour lines, what is a contour line? Now, you may have heard this term before in another context. You might have thought about contouring as far as, makeup or something like that, and where you bring out the lines in the face. Well, in a similar vein, a contour is just basically the outline. You see, when you're talking about a contour, you're only talking about really the outline, which makes up the form, right? So taking a look at this apple here, I'm just crossing over the apple, but as you can see, just this general outline is the contour line. The contour is often what creates the borders for an image, and depending on what you're doing, doesn't matter. Usually if it's sculpture or if it's painting or if it's drawing, you're going to be dealing with contours a lot, because that's what fills out that's what sets the boundaries for the figure. So usually, when you do a contour, you usually are referring to, just one continuous drawing a lot of times, and it's just getting a general basis of the form by doing the outline and nothing else. So whatever's inside of this thing here is not really important, because that's not filling out the outside, the exterior. So when you're looking at a contour, you just want to keep in mind it's really simple. Just whatever is out here on the general outlines, just so we're clear on that. So, why is that important? Well, it's good for mapping things out, so when you're actually drawing, you could actually keep something in the lines. So say for instance I'm drawing this, whatever this is right here, I am worried only about the contour lines here to keep everything on the inside, so when it's time for me to color it and do whatever, I could just do with color and everything fits properly. So that contour line is really important. So it builds the character of whatever you're drawing. So it's really important to try to understand why you need a contour line. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to jump into drawing, because this is the best way for us to understand this kind of thing. So I have this apple right here, and I'm going to just do a continuous drawing. I'm not going to lift my pen from the paper, and I'm just going to try to replicate the drawings. So when I draw, a lot of times I just do this kind of practice. This kind of helps because I don't have to worry about what I'm doing as far as what it looks like. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail because this apple is pretty cool. But as you can see, I'm only working with the outline of the figure, and you can stray a little bit and get into the outline of the outline of other things, but you just want to try to get a general feel and consensus of what this form is. And it's not a perfect replication of the form, but it doesn't have to be. The contour is only giving you the idea of what the thing is instead of the whole of the thing. That way you can abstract the rest, or you can figurize the rest. It just doesn't really, all it does is it's just a tool. So you often see this kind of thing in makeup or something like that, where you're accentuating a feature. Well, that's kind of what you're doing with the contour. So keep in mind, when you're contouring, you're doing contour lines, you're accentuating the features of the item that you're drawing. It could be anything. It could be a face, it could be a fruit, it could be a box, it could be anything. As long as you keep in mind that this is what you're accentuating everything with, and this is how everything is going to be seen. Say for instance, if I'm drawing a face, this line here is what keeps the face in line. If I take this line out, I could be a really good artist, but hard edges are really important to make sure that there's a sense of depth and a sense of stopping point on a piece of paper or canvas or what have you. So that's that. So I'm going to draw this apple again just so you guys can get a general picture. And a good rule of practice is to just kind of keep your pen on the paper and just kind of draw it as you see it. Contour lining is all about observation, right? You're not exactly doing a whole lot of crazy things, and I'm definitely not going to do the best job because I'm just not going to. But you can kind of see the form taking place, and a good idea is to keep your pencil on the paper or your pen, because that way you get a consistent form. You don't get any breakage. What you want to try to do, instead of getting all of these little scratches, and a lot of artists will start off doing those little scratches trying to get, a straight line. We talked about it before. Just try using, more of your arm or more of your wrist and trying to move in line so your stroke is nice and balanced. Another thing you can work on is line weight. So we didn't talk about this exactly, but it's something that can be kept up. Line weight is really simple. All you have to think about is just taking the pencil and doing very gentle marking, and then it picks up as you move. So that's that. Go back. There we go. Now, there's other forms of contouring that we could talk about too, and this one's actually really important. Because contouring is all about observation, you want to make sure that you have a good observational skill. And a good way to practice that is with line contouring. So here, I have a blank canvas. Now, with this technique, this helps you understand that you're not looking at your imagination filling in the gaps. You're supposed to be looking exactly at what you see and drawing it. Now, line contouring is a good way to get that process going. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take another picture. I have a picture of a cactus here that I'm going to use. It doesn't really have to be a cactus. It could be anything. Matter of fact, a lot of books will recommend that you take your hand and crumple it a little bit so you see wrinkles in your palm. And what you're going to do is you're going to look away from your canvas. So your least dominant hand, mine is my left. So I would look off away from the canvas, and I would crumple my little hand up, and I'd get the wrinkles that I'd be trying to achieve, and I just hold this. Now what this does is allows me to have a nice, interesting pattern for myself to draw. But I'm going to use a cactus. The rules are simple. First rule, you're going to want to keep your pen on the paper, and you're going to keep it there. Rule 2, don't look at your paper. This isn't about trying to be perfect. This is about trying to get observation skills. So I got my cactus, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start drawing. Now, fair warning, this will not look good. That's the point. It's not supposed to look great. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do a quick sketch of this cactus that I see here, right? I'm not going to be too crazy. I'm just going to follow my eyes. And I'm going to just, on what I see. And the point is, I'm going to do it kind of quick because I'm not trying to keep you guys here forever like I've been doing in my other videos, but you can start to see that you get really into it, and you want to try to get as much detail as you can. I see myself here. I'm actually working with this cactus here, and it's got a lot of ridges in it. And I'm not going to, I may not even get everything on the paper. I don't know, I forget how wide my paper is. That's okay. All you're trying to do right now is try to get everything going. Okay. Alright, so I have my contour drawing. As you can see, it's not exactly the best, but that's not the point. So you kind of want to get the idea that there are the ridges in the cactus, and you see that I kind of was working with that. This is all about observation. It's not about, it's not about trying to get the perfect figure. What you're trying to get right now is observational skills. So you're trying to see what parts are you getting, what you're not getting. You want to focus on what you're not getting and what you are getting, see what you're doing right and wrong, and then you can rectify them by doing more blind contouring. Now, you don't have to do this all the time. It's a good little practice tip to help you out, and I personally enjoy doing blind contouring whenever I'm just kind of like I have nothing else to do. It's a good way to stay loose and to get things going with that. So That was blind contouring. Okay. Now, let's try to do something a little bit more fun, because this episode is kind of short, but I would like to do one more thing just to give you an idea what you can do with contouring. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to look around and find something that might be a little bit more interesting, figuratively, and I'm going to do a contour line of that, and I'll show you what contouring can do in that regard. So let's go ahead and look, and pardon my very clackety keyboard, it's very clackety. We're gonna go onto Pinterest actually, and I usually have Pinterest on my dashboard, so I only have to click like 3 things. So by the way, if you don't use Pinterest, it's actually a really good tool. I use it a lot for finding poses or finding references or finding inspiration to do things. And oh look, already on my feed, I'm gonna go ahead and find something. I have some of these already. I like some of these, but let's find something that's a little bit easier to work on. Something that can be contoured pretty quickly and effectively. Let's do this. Okay, we're gonna do a head. So, like I said before, simple rules. Don't pick up your pencil from your pen, from your paper, and keep your eyes on the prize. Try to draw it out as best you can. And I'm not going to do a whole lot, but I do want to do just enough, and this doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but you could do this anytime. So I'm just kind of doing whatever. And you can actually turn this into another exercise, which is continuous line drawing. We kind of turn everything into a singular one-line drawing. Pick your pencil from the paper. You just kind of keep drawing, and eventually you'll have a nice enough composition for you to have. Now, I don't do those a whole lot because they kind of come out, to me, they come out kind of messy, or at least for mine. So you do have issues with those, but it's all in how you do it. There's a lot of different techniques that you could do to make things work as far as, what you're interested in, what you're drawing, what you want to do. And you can do a whole lot of things. You don't have to do figure drawing. You don't have to do any of those. You can do a multitude of different things. It all depends on how you use your tools that you gain to your own benefit, because I know I use my tools for my benefit. So, let's see. Alright, so we have a very flat-faced human. This is not how a human face would look. A human's face would probably be more out here, if anything. So let's fix that just a little bit. See, as you can see, maybe that's a little bit better. So we can clean this up now. But this was a basic contour. I wasn't trying to get anything really into the interior rather. I was just focusing on the exterior. But now that I'm done here, I can adjust it, just because it's a little bit easier to adjust now. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adjust everything. There's that. I'm gonna do a little bit of hatching and cross hatching. We'll get to that in another video, probably next video. We'll work on forms and the 3D model, because not entirely 3D modeling, but we want to get a general aspect of space, and this is pretty important to work on, especially when it comes to making things look proportional and make sense to how they look. And we'll use references to make this work properly. But this would be a contour drawing with a little bit of cheating as far as coming back in and fixing things, but this is how you do it. And of course there's a lot more you can do with contouring. You could do, like I said, those one-line drawings. You could even get into wireframing or wire meshing, which is actually really cool. I'm probably gonna do that next topic, which is actually gonna be one of my favorite topics, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But for now, keep in mind contour and what it means and why it's so important to a figure. Especially if you're drawing people, the contour sometimes is what makes the person. Looking at a person's face or looking at a person's body structure, a lot of times that line of action in and of itself is a contour line, and you will keep that in mind as you go through the day. But anyway, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, go on ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you might want to like it too. Also, share this video with somebody who may be having a little bit of trouble. It would probably help them. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go back to sleep. It is 3:35 in the morning, and I have to be really quiet because people are sleeping. But have a good night, everybody. I'll talk to you again some other time. See you later.